Please take their seats so we can get the meeting started. Good afternoon. My name is Joe Melendez. I'm Vice Chair of the Veterans Advisory Commission here by City Council. Our chairman is not available today. He is out of town, personal business. So we're going to try to fill in his absence. Thank you for being here. And to get it to start, we'll call on retired Air Force Major Paula Smith Benson. She's not here yet. Okay, well, guarantee we're going to have a prayer later on. But we can all stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag right behind me. Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, now to get started, to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Joe Melendez. I'm Army. I'm retired from the Philadelphia Police Department after 40 years, retired as a chief. I am very active with besides this commission here, I'm active with the Veterans Advisory Council over at the Medical Center and also at the outpatient clinic at Saraceni. And I am also very active with the VFW, the American Legion, the DAV, and I have worked on numerous projects since we were here last. Memorial Day, that weekend was very busy for all of us, attending different events. And we'll have other events that we're planning to do in the summer months, and that will be posted when it becomes available. And now we'll start with my right.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rhonda Smith Benson. I served in United States Army for 3 years. I deployed Desert Storm as a medic. I'm an American Legion member. I'm also the founder of the Women's Veterans Command Center. And currently what I'm trying to work on is incorporate some type of symposium or to seek more advice from the women veterans community so they'll have some input on what should be taking place for the women in this city. So I just think that the input is more important than the output at this moment. So if we're creating programs and no one's there, we're not doing our due diligence. So thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tony Boyle. I'm a 35-year retired Air Force, as well as 42 years with the City of Philadelphia with the Police Department.
Thank you, Tony. My far left.
Hello, I'm very thankful to be here. My name is Andre Mccoy. My service consists of active, guard, and reserve over 30 years. I started out in the Marines, enlisted as a private, eventually became an Army officer, tanks. So I went from the Marines to the Army. I know I get these jokes all the time, but I'm still happy to still wear the uniform over 30 years. And 6 deployments, 4 overseas deployments, 2 back-to-back combat tours, Iraq and Afghanistan. My affiliations include not just this organization, but the VFW, American Legion, countless others, 14 different organizations. So I'm very thankful to be here. I noticed that Judge Dugan just came in. I wanted to mention why veterans, and this is going to be a running theme, and they are a civic asset. They help the community in general. They volunteer more money. They volunteer more hours. If jobs are available, they participate. It's called a participation rate. They work more. If there's an unemployment figure and they have options to move, they participate less in the unemployment figure. They participate less in the poverty side of the house. So they also make, on average, more money than the average citizen. So why veterans? They contribute more, they do more, and that's just a tiny piece. We have a large number of veterans in the state of Pennsylvania, 880,000 roughly. We have a very large number here in Philadelphia and the surrounding communities. When I mean communities, I mean counties. Those counties look to Philadelphia for information and to help resolve their issues. So veterans help the community, and we can help them. It's to a mutual benefit that veterans, which are all shapes and sizes, are a civic asset for us all. I'm thankful to turn it over to Judge Dugan.
Good afternoon, and I apologize for my tardiness. I'm sitting up at the 3901 Whitaker districts, and I think I was on the bench till 1:35. But again, good afternoon. Judge Dugan. I run Veterans Court here in Philadelphia, affiliated with many veterans organizations, including GWAT, which is trying to build a memorial here in Penn's Landing. I'm also recently been elected to chairman of the Korean War veteran, the Korean War Memorial down at the Penn's Landing as well. I served 23 years in the Army, active duty, as well as reserves, Iraq, Afghanistan, infantry, paratrooper, civil affairs, and JAG. And it's my honor and privilege to represent on this board. And the only one announcement I really have is that on June 25th, which is this coming Monday, this anniversary of the start of the Korean War, there will be a service at the memorial at Front and Dock Streets at 11 a.m. It will be hosted by the Korean Veteran Association of Philadelphia. And they're Korean War veterans, but they also are of Korean descent. But that's at 11 o'clock, and all are welcome.
Thank you. Carlo?
Hey, good afternoon, folks. My name is Carlo Aragoncillo. I'm the director of the Veterans Advisory Commission, City of Philadelphia. A little bit about myself. I'm 7 years in, currently serving the Army Reserve as a company commander of a signal unit out of Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania. Also just came back from overseas. I was deployed over in Iraq, spent about a year there, and it's good to be home. In my current role, I said this on numerous occasions. I see some familiar faces out in the crowd, but if you haven't heard it yet, my mission priorities for the office and working with the commission, there are 4 things. So we process claims with veterans, for veterans, get them service connected and process their claims to the VA. We also connect them with any benefits or local resources they may qualify for in the city of Philadelphia. We also build out strategic partnerships and relationships with different organizations. A lot of 501c3s come to us. We see if they're a good fit, and if there's a greater need for that for the veterans, we connect them with those relationships and organizations that we're partnering with. Really important legislation and policy. I know that's a big key topic for veterans. We're trying to set the stage now that we can break down and interpret legislation, get rid of a lot of the legalese, and bring it down to layman's terms, make it easier for people to digest and see, hey, does this legislation actually affect me? Does this policy actually affect me? And if not, how can we, as veterans in our community, come together to make this better for the greater good? That's something we're tackling right now as an organization. And lastly, like Judge Dugan mentioned, celebrating and honoring veterans, celebrating the veterans that are here with us today and honoring those who've come before us. Just some updates on my end, my report. So we started a remote policy/legislation team. I reached out on numerous occasions, not just in this forum, but also online. My social media presence through the office has increased tenfold in the 6 to 7 months that I've been in office. We've gotten a lot of feedback. A lot of people say, hey, I want to help out. I understand it's all volunteer. So please, if you can still contribute time, I don't care if it's an hour here and there, or if you want to give me a 10-hour block to be able to break down a lot of the legislation. It's only myself and maybe a few others. So anyone who wants to come forward and help out, contribute, that would be greatly appreciated. We're also standing up 2 things here. Grants Revenue Fund, which has never been explored for this office. After City Council goes into recess, we're looking to get that off the ground, hopefully by 1st September. So we'll have a mechanism in place to apply for grants, actually receive grants, and then use those funds for things like special projects, et cetera, throughout the city of Philly on behalf of veterans. And lastly, discretionary funding. Still something I'm exploring. I can't confirm or say that it's actually in place. This is something that we're still working out, trying to find a good 501c3 we can work with and partner with. But my intent between both discretionary funds and grants revenue fund is that no funds or no monies physically come through my hands or our office. The intent with the discretionary funding is for things like emergency funding. We want to do things like scholarships for veterans, helping out other local nonprofits, 501c3s that align with our priorities. And those are the main updates I have. Some of the events that we have lined up, like Judge Dugan had mentioned, the Korean Veterans Association of Greater Philadelphia on the 25th, this coming Monday, starting at 11 a.m. They're going to celebrate the 68th anniversary of the Korean War. That's at, you said Front and Dock Street. Team RWB on 6:30 on June 30th. They are partnering with Philly Soul. They're having a military appreciation game night. That's going to kick off, the game is going to kick off at 7 p.m., but the full day event starts at 10 o'clock with a tailgate at 3. Information is available on teamrwb.org if you wish to do so. And lastly, one of the bigger events that happened in the past 2 weeks, I had the honor of seeing Headstrong, the organization that was backed by, it's actually an organization out of New York. What they do is they provide free mental health care and counseling to all veterans, all generations, all ages, doesn't matter what demographic, but all veterans. The good thing is there's no red tape, no bureaucracy. It's really dependent on your location, and they'll find you a provider. It is free. Just if you go to the website getheadstrong.org, they're a good organization. They only came out about 2 weeks ago here in Philadelphia, but they're all throughout the U.S., so check them out. Other than that, those are my updates. Joe?
Thank you, Carlo. Commissioners, any commissioners have any other questions or comments? Okay. One word that Carlo mentioned that I think it should be repeated again is volunteer. We are all very busy people up here. We all volunteer our time. We think that's the least we can do for the veterans out there. So nobody here is being paid for being here. We do this our own time, and we do a lot during the week, during weekends sometimes, for veterans and with veterans. Do we have the representative here from Hot Hair? You might come up front here and make your presentation, please.
And Joe, real quick, so for the good of the group, for the sake of time, interest of time, we're setting a 5-minute limit per person who comes up.
Well, 5 minutes for presentation, 3 minutes for individuals when we do the open forum.
Yep, so just keep that in mind, please. Thank you.
So my name is Mia Stewart. This is my husband, O'Cross Stewart, and we're the owners of Hot Hair. And
Get closer to the mic, please.
okay. Hello? Okay.
Hello? Okay, good.
So my name is Mia Stewart. This is my husband, O'Cross Stewart, and we're the owners of Hot Hair. We are a family-owned business, and here in Philadelphia, we provide custom cranial prosthesis or custom wigs for female and male veterans who are going through hair loss for any reason. So we've noticed that women who are coming back from deployment, as young as probably 25 years old, are experiencing hair loss for a whole host of reasons. And we also provide the units for women who are going through chemotherapy. And really, there are a lot of women suffering from hair loss. The medical term is alopecia. And if they receive a consult from the VA Medical Center, then they're able to receive these units free of charge. Not only do we provide the custom wigs to help them to feel more confident, to feel more empowered as they're facing their days and going out and looking for jobs and just doing their regular day-to-day activities, we also do scalp treatments. So my husband is a trichology practitioner. All of these services are completely free. They're for no charge for veterans as a part of their benefits. Like I said, all the male or female veteran would need to do is to go through dermatology, oncology, even their general practitioner can write the consult. Then it will go through prosthetics, and we'll be able to provide the services for free. We have a location in Morristown, New Jersey, which is only about 20 minutes from here, where they can come. We also do consultations. We can visit our clients anywhere, whether they're in-home, you know, if they're homebound, we can provide the services there, or they can come out to us. We've been working with probably a handful of veterans here in Philadelphia, and what we hear most from them is when they meet us or when they learn about our services is that nobody knows that this benefit is even available. And so we're here just to bring a little bit more awareness about, you know, what they can receive and how we can help our female veterans feel more confident, especially the ones who are, as I said, going through hair loss.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm a trichology hair practitioner, and basically trichology is the study of the scalp and the hair follicle. So essentially, as much as we're also providing our clients with medical wigs, we know it's important for us to help them also grow their own hair back if there is some things that we can do. So part of that is just making sure that we're not giving them products or anything that can set them back. So as a trichology hair practitioner, we work with the cosmetologist as well as with the dermatologist. We do microscopic examinations of the clients, then we come up with treatment plans, but we also provide these treatment plans as well for the clients. We utilize our own specially formulated products, which are FDA approved, and these services are typically done for 6 months to a year. Again, this is a benefit for veterans. It typically is going through fee basis, but this would again have to be something that would go through the dermatology department or the oncology department if they see that this is something that they believe that the veteran could benefit from.
So I'm correct to assume that you need a referral from the VA before the veteran can go there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the consult will come through prosthetics for the wig, and then the referral will come from fee basis for the scalp treatments.
That's great. I didn't know we had that benefit. Do you have anything in writing that we can share?
Yes, we do. We have brochures that we can leave with you.
We love it. Yeah, we love that. Yes. And all your information, your business cards?
Yes, we have that
everything.
as well.
Also, if you could spell the name of your company and any website or whatever for the millions who are watching on television, you know, if they're saying like, okay, what was that name? If you could do that, that would be terrific.
Yes, the name of our company is Haute Hair. It's HAUTEHAIR, and our website is www.hautehaironline.com. We're also on Facebook at Haute Hair, and we're also on Instagram as well for those who are on social media at The Real Haute Hair.
And the address of your location?
The address is
109 West Camden Avenue, Morristown, New Jersey.
Thank you. Any questions?
If, for example, someone's in TRICARE, someone has other medical coverage other than the VA, and they come to you and they are a veteran, does the same apply to where you will accept whatever their plan pays as opposed to a referral from the VA, or does it have to be a veteran who is also in the VA medical system?
Well, we service anyone, whether they're a veteran or they have any other insurances. Most insurances now do cover a portion of the services, and what we would do is help them to contact their insurance company, find out exactly what the benefit is, what they would be reimbursed, and help them to submit the claims.
Thank you. Very informative. And you're going to leave some information behind, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
And last, this Friday, we're going to be at the Chubb Center, is that correct?
Yes, we're going to be, we're sponsoring Women Vets Rock, and that's an organization that really focuses on women veterans, and this is a leadership conference at the Chubb Convention Center. So we'll be there this Friday and Saturday.
Is that the one on Rich Pike?
Is it Rich Pike?
Yes, it is.
Oh, nice place.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else making a presentation? We had somebody else that Ed McCoy was not able to make it. We're now going to open it up, open forum for anyone who has any questions or concerns. Reminder, it's a 3-minute time limit. We don't need that. Any other than Kathy Santos? Kathy is from the Philadelphia NAACP Veterans Chair, right?
That's correct.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
2 months in a row. So I'm glad to be back here again today on behalf of the Philadelphia NAACP as the chair of the Veterans Committee. I am an honorably discharged Desert Storm veteran. I am a victim of military sexual trauma, and I am, at this point, an advocate of about 25 years. I'm the only female in the country to have a 15-6 investigation that was founded while I served on active duty, and I won my case 20 years ago. This precipitated my 25 years of advocacy to now where I'm actually doing research in this area. And it's very important that I share some of the validity of the information that I have experienced and that I'm learning through this research agenda, because it's relative to the healing and the holistic approach to how we are being healed today in the veterans community. So as a woman veteran and an African-American veteran in the city, I would like to speak specifically to my role as a Veterans Committee chair in the NAACP, because I think that ethnic disparity is affecting how we are approaching that today throughout the VA systems throughout the country. But specific to Philadelphia VA, I would like to talk to this particular commission here about the Senate Bill 255 that totally omitted Philadelphia County. That report to Governor Wolf, in omitting Philadelphia County, it failed to realize whatever number of veterans that you say here, but it also doesn't identify what the specifics that we suffer here in the city, whether it's homelessness, our healthcare issues, of which I've gone through all of them here in the city of Philadelphia. And while you are here to address today in the 2018, for the past 25 years, these particular spots you are filling were vacant. So there are compounded issues now that we are dealing with that have been unaddressed for 25 years. Whereas I've watched many of my sisters die from these unaddressed issues. I mean, there's still a very, very serious crisis here in the women veterans community. What I would like to speak specifically to is the level of help here. So we have professionals here as veterans who have graduated themselves to the level of care. So when I hear the referral to Women's Veterans Rock, who are not veterans at all, they are not veterans, they have not a women's veterans agenda. And I would like to have this particular conversation, if I would, not to be adversarial to what they think that they're doing, but to have a professional conversation about what they are doing. Because there is a certain professional community of women veterans who have actually, what I refer to as the foxhole experience, that have graduated and taken on these very professional roles, whether they're medical doctors, nurses, or whatever roles that we are assuming here. So we challenge these non-veteran organizations that take on these roles of help in our particular community. So I'd like for you to consider that as you make whatever decisions you are making about Women Veterans Rock, or however you celebrate these various organizations by which you entertain here in the city of Philadelphia. And I would also like to add that I've come to this particular council here for at least 20 years, given various testimony. I've not received one response on any of the issues that I've attended to. And one particular issue I would like to bring to the attention is healthcare. For 7 years, it took me to I had to eventually get a congressional intervention to get health care that saved my life, because there is not a functioning process to get the help to these women. Now, oftentimes I'm going to the Philadelphia VA hospital myself and speak to women who are trying to explain to civilian professionals what their conditions are, who they are so disconnected from the type of combat-related. One of the challenges that I'm doing with my research is to encourage that a DSM manual be incorporated within the psychological treatment methodologies just for combat-related, not the civilian-focused DSM manual that we're now using. So that it is a consideration and a discussion that in analyzing some of the combat-specific conditions, whether it's psychological or physical, that there be a DSM manual that actually gives you the type of compensatory evaluations that they're not using the civilian understanding through these civilian trained platforms where they'll come to interpret what it is that we're talking about. Because oftentimes, the medical professionals, they do not understand the languages about which we're communicating, and it is proven that the trained military professional far exceeds the civilian training by 80%. So we're giving these civilian platforms an unauthorized, unqualified platform by which they have no relationship to the veterans community, and they have isolated themselves purposely for that reason. Let me just say this.
Thank you, Ms. Santos.
I will say that, make this one final point, sir. We meet for 1 hour a month, and I really need to get this point across, because this is not where it ends. The Women Veterans Rock, which is a component of the Philadelphia Multi-Service and Education Center. We invited them to participate in the agenda which sets forth a platform for Philadelphia County. They rejected us. And they support an agenda that is in Coatesville or Bucks County. We are Philadelphia County, and this is where we reside. And we need you to consider that as we move forward, because we will continue to come down here in this capacity to address this commission, and we will be included. There is a diversity and inclusion issue here with regard to how you are deciding who gets help here. And it's bias and it's discriminate, and it's borders racism here, and we need to address it in that capacity.
Okay, thank you very much.
And you're quite welcome. And I would like a written response as to the function as to how you're responding to my issues. They're very serious.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Anybody else making a presentation of concerns? Please come to the podium there, identify, take a seat, identify yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Sean Wilson. I'm a servant, first off, but I'm a 100% totally disabled veteran of the United States Army. I'm also a 20-year retired Philadelphia police sergeant. I've worked in every crevice, every alley, every neighborhood that's being gentrified right now. I've worked there, and I've created a space that is now receiving way more help than our great veterans of this city. I am also the founder of Veterans in the Hood, which is a 501c3 organization based here in Philly. I have, just to expound on what the last speaker was expounding on, in reference to the fact that the treatment of our veterans is not what it should be here in the city of Philadelphia. It is not. And after I was injured on my job as a police officer, after 20 years, I became, still being a servant. I see something as a first responder, and I'm taught and trained to say something. And I'm here today to say something. We need the help of the Veterans Advisory Council, as you are the holders and gatekeepers of benefits, resources, and support. I'm in the outreach. I'm outreaching every day, and I'm in the community every day, helping veterans, speaking to veterans, talking to veterans, walking with veterans, crying with veterans, Purple Heart recipients from the Korean War, from the Vietnam War, and right on up to today. They have no idea, and lots of times, about what they are entitled to. Just like them, when I got out of the military and ETS and came back here before I got in the military, before I joined the police department, I wasn't helped either. And at the end of the day, we have now veterans sleeping underneath Kensington Avenue that I go out with my friends and my people that I work with and help to feed them. There should be no homelessness. There are houses owned by the city of Philadelphia that we need. I'm not here to browbeat anybody. I'm just here to try to get the support because I am a part of this city. I've worked here, I live here, my children are here, my wife and my mother are here. And all I'm asking for is to be met, my one person, my efforts to be met by the Veterans Advisory Council. And I work here, and I'm right now doing work with Carlo, Mrs. Wanda Pate. Sir, you know I worked with you in the past. You were my commander. And so I'm just here not to cause trouble, not to be a rebel rouser, but to be a servant and to be of service to you, because outreach is needed in the community. I've gone to the DAV, gone to VFW, gone to American Legion, and they all do what they're doing, and they've been doing it for a long time. But what they do lack is a community outreach, meaning that they don't go and they are not proactive. It's more reactive. And proactive is what we need. We need a proactionary group and people that want to go out into the neighborhoods and sit with these people that cannot get out. They're disenfranchised. They're hurting. And I'm here to say that I am here to help and I would love to be able to be a part of what you're doing. And if it's a position that I can help to fill, then I'm here to do it. But I do need the help, and I do need your support. Now, is there any questions I can get from you guys? Because I know I only got 5 minutes of how you guys can help me. Any questions?
You said your name is Wilson?
Sean W. Wilson, sir.
And you were in the Army for 20 years?
No, I was in the Army for 3 years. I was in the police department for 20 years.
And you were a sergeant in the police department?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, Sergeant Wilson, thank you for serving twice the nation and also the city. This is a very complicated issue, so obviously in 5 minutes we're not going to be able to solve it. But you've taken very positive steps because you're here. You're here, you're standing up for yourself and your fellow veterans. You've also met with Carlo, or you have some type of a relationship? Yep. Right. So the dialogue has started, and that's, that's key. I think that we all hear that you're requesting our assistance, and at the same time, you're willing to assist. And that's the only way things can really move forward. Obviously, anything here needs to take place probably afterwards, with Carlo and his office. I'm also from the Hood, Fort Hood, Texas, which is where I was on a deployment. But this is a very serious issue.
Yes, it is.
We're all aware of it in different forms, and it looks like it's going to be a long road. And there's no easy, simple solution.
Can I ask you a question? Why?
Sure. Why is there no easy, simple solution? Right. There's a complex factors of society, politics, dynamics, personalities, socioeconomic, demographics. There's a ton of factors that go into this. There is no easy solution. We all know that, unfortunately.
So veterans have zero in terms of a budget, but there are other groups that are getting support and help, and that's an issue. And I don't hear anyone saying that same thing about what they have going on, these other groups.
You were talking about veteran homelessness, right?
Yes, Judge.
Well, what I'm suggesting you do, when you find a veteran that's homeless and you can't find them something through the system or down at the VA, you call me, okay? Because from my perspective, working with, and the VA has a lot of issues. There are a lot of places that they can go, and I deal with that all the time. So I'm saying, I'll give you my card, you can track me down, I'm on Google. If you have a veteran that is homeless, and obviously that person needs to be a veteran, because I will tell you, I talk to almost every veteran that says he's homeless or she's homeless in the center city, Philadelphia. And after I try to vet them, a lot of them aren't veterans. They're using us as a symbol. They're using it. So I'm just saying, if you have a veteran on Kensington Avenue or Germantown Avenue or South Philly and you can't get them a bed, please call me. Please get in touch with me, and I will do everything that I can with all the resources and assets that I'm aware of to help them get a placement. I will do that. There are resources out there. That's why we're here, to connect the dots. You're doing something out there. These folks sitting here, I see a lot of familiar faces out there working in the veteran community, and each one of the members up here are doing it. We need to connect the dots, so please connect the dot anytime.
And I just want to add also, sir, I have some background working with homeless veterans in a couple of programs throughout the city from a previous place of employment. So if you have any concerns about, particularly around that area, you can also give me a call. I'll give you my number after the meeting.
I would like
or anything else I can help you with.
I would like to have everybody's number. Because when I'm talking to people and listening to what they're saying to me when I'm doing the community outreach, I would love to be able to say, well, yes, I have someone and this is their card, and I have someone and this is their card. I would love to be able to do that, because to see them begin to cry because they are Purple Hearts and they have no idea that they have benefits, and it's not right. It's not right. It's never been right. All the way going back for a whole generation since the Civil War, it's not been right.
Yeah, I concur. Trust me, I concur. I mean, I'm always boots on the ground. I mean, it's the most I sit behind a desk, trust me. So, I mean, I definitely concur. I'm one of those people as well. But one of the things going forward, I like to be more solution focused. So maybe we can think about putting our heads together and come up with somewhat of a task force of volunteers, and we can maybe hit the streets once a month, once every other month or so, and go and hit the streets and see what that looks like. You know, and veterans, veterans, us doing the work. You know, I try not to depend on too many other entities because a lot of times we get let down. You know, so let's put our heads together and see, let's talk around that. You know, so create maybe some task force or something.
Okay.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for being here today, sir.
Okay, thank you, boss.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to address the commission? You have a question? I'm sorry, you have to come to the microphone. We can't hear you. Is your question for us or for the gentleman?
It's for the commission. I'd just like to know the function. Are there any particular subcommittees that address these particular issues, maybe homelessness? Is there a committee set up amongst the commission here where we could bring out specific issues? Is that in the part of the discussion for your future plan?
Any issue like that, if you contact the office downstairs, we will tell you, we will share with you the information available for that.
I appreciate that.
Our office downstairs is equipped and trained to handle all these issues and work with all the many community people out there in the outreaching in the community. We're ready. We do it on a daily basis. Carla's always available. If Carla's not there, the other staff members are there. All you have to do is either call them, no matter what the situation is, call them or stop by the office.
I did go past the website. I think they're doing a very good job with VetVets, the veterans. It's a very well put together, but I just think it's probably restricted in the demographics. I looked at it, and it reflects this commission. It only talks about one nonprofit here that's local to the city. It only talks about the Philadelphia Multi-Service and Education Center. So I'd just like to see more diversity.
That is a work in progress.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. And by the way, the name is Kathy Santos. You needed it back there, right? Thank you, Kathy. Ms. Santos.
Excuse me. In reference to the homeless for veterans here in the city of Philadelphia, while it's certainly not perfect, there are places. We work directly with the VA through the HUD-VASH program. Congressman Bob Brady and a few other of our local federal officials have gotten all kinds of grants. There are veteran homes throughout the city that have been built. I've been to a couple of the openings, one right off of 12th and Girard. It's a big, giant apartment house that are for veterans who are homeless. And I'm telling you, there are spaces available. They've been doing a great job. We're making a dent in it, and all those ones that we're missing, we need to find them. And if you're finding them, please bring it to someone's attention. And it's fine with me, because I will contact the folks at the VA. I will contact Congressman Bob Brady. I know Carlos has assets. The rest of the folks that are sitting up here have assets. So please, if you're finding veterans on the street, let's get them off the street. But there are programs that are out there.
You have a question? Identify yourself again, please.
And Mr. Wilson, if you could say your organization and if you have a website, what that is, and that'd be great.
Veterans in the Hood.
For our viewers, listening public?
Yes. Veterans in the Hood @gmail.com is our email address. We have a Facebook page, Veterans in the Hood, and the website is just about to be launched. I'm a one-man operation right now, and it's really hard, but I'm used to it. But I just wanted to address the homeless situation. You have to look at what causes that. The homelessness is caused by mental deterioration. And that's what I get every day. Talking to these veterans that have PTSD, and they don't even know how to have or do a self-awareness. So that's the issue. The issue is the mental health of these veterans.
And what was your question, sir? You said you had a question?
No, I didn't say I had a question. I said I had something to add, boss.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so that's all I needed to say.
Thank you.
And that needs to be addressed, as well as we need more veteran service officers, VSOs, because that's the issue. We have to go to...
We're always asking for more. We're always asking for more. We try to get more.
Trying to get more VSOs?
Yes.
Okay.
We don't have the power to create VSOs. We agree 1,000% with you that we need more VSOs. There's a couple folks that are on the board at the VA, and they're always asking. In Veterans Court, we've asked for more VSOs. We ask for VSOs to come to everything. We want 1,000, 10,000 VSOs. We agree wholeheartedly with you. We really do.
Okay.
So
I would
we're in
like to get
agreement
some
with
more.
you.
And Carlo's going to bring me over to a Veterans Court as well. I was supposed to come a couple
You don't need
weeks
him.
ago.
Thursday, 10 o'clock.
Thursday,
from
10 o'clock.
10:06.
10:06.
It's open to the public.
Okay.
And there's a group of veteran organizations that are there every week that are there to assist veterans. And they don't just help veterans that are in front of me as a defendant. If you have a veteran who's in need and there's an organization that can help, every single one of them have been open to help them. But come see anytime. And you don't need, it's great if Carlos brings you over. You don't need them.
Do appreciate the invitation.
Not a problem.
Thank you. Anyone else want to address the commission? If there are no other questions or concerns, Major Paula Smith Benson, the benediction, please. We stand, right?
Let's bow our heads. Oh, gracious and eternal God, we thank you for today's opportunity to come together in community, to begin a dialogue and a discussion to move in a holistic direction for healing our entire city. We ask that you would just bless each person that is here, every organization that is represented. And we ask now for a special care and concern for our entire veteran community and those that have been called to support. We ask a special blessing over this Veterans Advisory Committee, and we thank you in advance for the wisdom and the knowledge and the direction and strategies that shall come out of this experience. We ask all of these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And that's retired Major Paula Smith Benson. Meeting is now adjourned.